Okay, ano muna, no? Definition of terms muna po tayo, no? When you say initiated or deemed initiated yung impeachment complaint, what exactly does this mean based on the latest Supreme Court ruling?
Well, we will remember that the exclusive power to initiate impeachment complaints belong to the House of Representatives, no? At kapag sinabi nating deemed initiated, mas matatandaan siguro natin ito if we keep on saying na dito na trigger ang running ng 1-year prohibition period. It means that the initiation of the complaint was completed from the time of referral to the Justice Committee. That is as a general rule. And the consequence of the same, na-trigger ang running ng 1-year prohibition period, which means no other subsequent complaints may be entertained by the House of Representatives until the lapse of 1-year period from the date of initiation.
Okay, so ang pumasok po na impeachment complaints, tama po ba 4?
Yes, that's correct, Christian.
Okay. Ano po
4
yung mga susunod na
impeachment
hakbang?
complaints.
Ano po yung mga
Well,
susunod na hakbang ng Justice Committee?
Well, I wish to share the summary of the process that the Justice Committee will be doing, no? The first step is the determination of sufficiency in form, no? Pag sinabi nating sufficiency in form, these are the basic requirements of that the complaint must be signed, that the complaint must be verified, that the verification must be correct, that the same must be accompanied by a resolution of a member of the House, and that the resolution must be under oath. Now, at least kapag itong basic requirements na ito ay duly complied with, we can say that the impeachment complaint is sufficient in form. No? The second step, kapag pasado na sa form, we will determine sufficiency in substance. Under the rule, the complaint is considered as sufficient in substance if there is a recital of facts constituting an offense that is determinative of the jurisdiction of the Justice Committee. That only means that the allegations of facts contained in the complaint must constitute a ground for impeachment. At maalala natin, exclusive ang ground for impeachment. This was enumerated under the Constitution. No? Ito yung culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption, bribery, other high crimes. No? This is exclusive in character, meaning if the allegations of facts do not constitute any of the grounds for impeachment, these are 6, then it should not be considered as sufficient in substance. No? So after the step 2, kung pasado sa 1 at sa 2, or kung pasado sa standard ng form and substance, we go to step 3. Doon sa step 3, the Justice Committee will be issuing the notice to the respondent for her to file her answer within the period of 10 calendar days. No? From the answer, the complainant has a period of 3 calendar days to file a reply, and the respondent from the date of receipt of reply has a period again of 3 calendar days to file a rejoinder. Ang tawag natin, Christian, dito, responsive pleadings. Kaya responsive kasi nagsasagutan. From a complaint, the respondent will file an answer. From the answer, the complainant may file a reply, and from the reply, the respondent may file a rejoinder. No? Dito din sa step 3, Christian, pwede nang i-receive ang evidence ng Justice Committee. No? And if there are affidavits and counter-affidavits, they should be sworn in as well before the Justice Committee. No? Dito sa step 3, on the basis of all the evidence and the responsive pleadings, we will be determining whether there is sufficient basis that support the impeachment complaint. If the answer is yes, we go to step 4. Sa step 4 naman, iimbitahan na natin complainants, witnesses, and even the respondent. No? The common question, Christian, is what if the respondent fails or refuses to appear during the hearing? Ito pong presence ng respondent sa hearing, this is part of a right to due process. No? So whether she wishes to come or not to come, that is actually her prerogative. And if she doesn't come, it will merely be interpreted as her waiver of her right to be present during the hearing. Pag natapos, Christian, yung hearing proper under the step 4, we proceed to step 5. Doon sa step 5, the Justice Committee will now determine whether or not there is probable cause that support the impeachment complaint. That is why I commonly compare this proceeding of the Justice Committee to a preliminary investigation in a judicial proceeding. No? Naalala mo, prior to Circular 15 and 27 of the DOJ, ang quantum of evidence required in the prosecution is probable cause, no? So, ito ay kamukha ng nangyayari dito sa Justice Committee. Parang preliminary investigation pa lamang because the
Mm.
trial will happen doon sa Senado, no? So, kung ano man po ang maging decision ng Justice Committee as to the existence of probable cause, the same has to be written in the committee report, which will be forwarded to the plenary, subject to the approval of at least one-third of all the members of the House. If the content of the committee report is my probable cause, and then it will be approved by at least one-third of all the members of the House, that will warrant the transmittal of the articles of impeachment to the Senate. Ngayon, kung yung committee report which finds probable cause will not be able to gather at least one-third vote of all the members of the House, what does that mean? That will be tantamount to the dismissal of the impeachment complaint. So, Christian,
Mm.
at least this is the basic procedure that will happen before the Justice Committee, no?
Kailan niyo po
Christian?
sisimulan yung ano? Kailan niyo po sisimulan yan? Yung kunwari
Well-
determination of sufficiency in form.
Yeah, we have scheduled already our initial hearing on March 2. It is this coming Monday already. It will be followed by March 3 and March 4. Our March 2 is dedicated to sufficiency in form. Kung matapos kami on March 2, if we will be able to vote on the afternoon of March 2 as to sufficiency in form, then we will be dedicating March 3 and March 4 for the sufficiency in substance. No? So
Okay.
initially, ito yung hearing dates that we have scheduled so far. And I understand as well that the Secretariat are already working on the notices which will be issued to the members of the Justice Committee as well as to the endorsers of the 4 impeachment complaint.
Ngayong gumugulong na po yung proseso, no, deemed initiated na impeachment complaints dyan po sa Justice Committee, sa committee ninyo, pwede pa rin po bang gamitin yung express route? O
I don't
hindi na?
think, Christian. I don't think. Sapagkat the jurisdiction over the 4 impeachment complaints already is with the Justice Committee, no? And as a matter of fact, kagaya na pag-usapan natin kanina, when the plenary referred it to the Justice Committee, the initiation is deemed completed. And while the 4 impeachment complaints are already with the Justice Committee, kung magkakaroon ng proceeding before the plenary via one-third, I think that will constitute already violation of the 1-year prohibition period.
Okay. Ito naman, let's talk about the pressure that you are expected to experience. Kasi, na-dispose niyo po yung impeachment complaints against the president, and now you are going to scrutinize the impeachment complaints against the vice president. Walk us through the kind of pressure that you're feeling, if there's such a thing that you're experiencing now, to show that this would not be railroaded, to show that the congressmen won't be biased against the vice president. Kasi ang accusation sa mga congressman, ibinasura yung yung complaints against the president dahil hawak niya yung kongreso.
Well, Christian, no, first and foremost, meron tayong rules of impeachment of the House of Representatives, and I am very conservative. That is why I really follow strictly the rules, no? Second, the proceeding will be live streamed, the same thing that happened in the impeachment proceeding against the president. So the public can actually watch and witness how the deliberation is being undertaken, whether it is being done fairly or otherwise. Third, Christian, I for myself, I am very much conscious that this is a constitutional duty, no? We do not owe this to the president. We do not owe this to the vice president. We owe this to the sovereign Filipino people, no? And as much as possible, the members of the Justice Committee are supposed to be very impartial and very independent in hearing these impeachment complaints with reservation, however, to the fact that this is still a political process where political affiliation is still significant. No? So, in the end, Christian, we know for a fact that we cannot please everyone. No? as much as we wanted to become not only objective, but to look objective as well in the eyes of the public. Alam
Mm.
naman namin, Christian, even the members of the Justice Committee, we know that we cannot please everyone, no? So no matter how impartial we are, no matter how independent we are, no matter how objective we are in hearing these impeachment complaints, we are surrounded by different political personalities. At alam namin, Christian, that for some, whatever decision we will be able to arrive at, palaging kami I mean, it will not be appreciated fairly by some group of people or some supporters of one side, or if not the other side, Christian.
Okay. Were you surprised when the vice president declared that she would run for president in 2028
To be,
before you could actually
yeah.
begin this process sa Justice Committee?
Well, to be honest, Christian, I was not surprised, no? Because I think everybody is anticipating already that she will be running for president. And I recall na may mga prior occasions na rin when she was able to articulate that she's really interested to run for president. And that is her prerogative,
Yeah, pero the
Christian.
fact that she said this, yung timing, what do you think of the timing?
Well, the timing for me is not surprising, no? Kasi ang lapit na rin ng 2028, now is 2026, 'di ba? And as a matter of fact, I can observe na hindi na rin maiwasan yung discussion about the possible presidential, the upcoming presidential election, no? So, I'm not surprised at all if she made that pronouncement in time for this impeachment process as well.
Does it make your job harder that she declared this early and people might now think that all your actions dyan po sa Justice Committee, dyan sa House of Representatives, dahil gusto lang pigilan yung pagtakbo ng Vice Presidente na presumptive leading contender for the presidency?
That is always a possibility, Christian, that people who are supporting the vice president will always be thinking that the only reason why there's an impeachment process is because she is a presumptive contender in the next presidential election, no? We will always be charged as causing this political harassment, perhaps, against the vice president. Pero as I have said, Christian, I am a very conservative person. I am conscious about this constitutional duty. I follow the rules strictly. So, regardless of the impression or appreciation of the public to this impeachment process, ang alam ko,
Mm.
Christian, meron kaming trabaho na kailangang harapin in as far as the members of the Justice Committee is concerned, no? And again,
Opo.
this is a constitutional duty which we really have to face, no? I remember I said in one interview, this impeachment is not a question of gusto ba namin or ayaw namin. This impeachment is not a question of pro-administration ba kami o pro-Duterte kami. This is a matter of constitutional duty to the sovereign Filipino people, regardless of our state of mind, regardless of our desire, regardless of our preference, we are mandated by the Constitution to discharge this function.
Opo. Let me ask you a question which is a bit personal. Bilang isang politiko, bilang isang kongresista po, meron po ba kayong pangamba o takot na kung manalo si Vice President Sara Duterte sa pagkapangulo sa 2028, tapos ito, ini-impeach siya dyan sa House of Representatives, eventually, babalikan niya kayo?
Well, that is always a possibility, no? But I hope that she will appreciate what is happening as part of the constitutional process, a consequence of a democratic system of government. Sana yun ang maging appreciation niya. But of course, that possibility can be considered as well, Christian.
May nasa-sense po ba kayong parang kahit papano nakaramdam ng konting pag-atras, pangamba, o even takot yung ilang mga kasama ninyo matapos magdeklara yung Vice Presidente?
Well, to be honest, do sa Justice Committee, with respect to the Kongs na nakakausap ko, no? Wala naman. Napapag-usapan the possibility of the Vice President's reaction to us being the members who are sitting in the Justice Committee, pero not to the extent naman that they will be indifferent about their duty to hear these impeachment complaints in the Justice Committee.
I understand yung
Christian.
duty, no? Kasi wala kayong choice dahil kayo nandiyan sa position na yan, tsaka yung mga miyembro ng Justice Committee. Even then, no, since this is a political exercise as well, I think you cannot discount the idea or the possibility na ilan po sa mga kasama ninyo, may pangamba. Kasi, teka muna, ang laki ng chance na manalo nito sa pagkapangulo. Kung i-impeach namin yun to, tapos hindi matuluyan, markado kami rito. Paano naman yung kinabukasan namin sa 2028 and beyond?
As I have said, Christian, that is always a possibility, no? And in fact, I will not be surprised if there are members of the House of Representatives who are really apprehensive about that. But in as far as the comms that I've been in communication, constant communication already in line with our preparation, it is not to the extent naman of withdrawing or backing off from the duty that they are supposed to discharge in the Justice Committee.
Apo. Ito pala, no? Kasi, di ba, una na po na-impeach si Vice President last year. Of course, nang himasok yung Korte Suprema at of course, kinaladkad ng mga senador yung kanilang paa para hindi magkaroon ng trial. At least yung po yung pagbasa ng marami. Pero dininig nyo na yan eh. Kumbaga, nabusisi na yan eh. At least that was the expectation sa House of Representatives. Kahit may pagbabago po ng composition eh, no? Kasi yung tatlo naman basically refiled, di ba? Tapos meron pong pang-apat. Tapos the other factor was the testimony of Ramil Madriaga. Ang point ko rito, kung ang pinagbabasihan ng impeachment complaints are largely the same basis that were used last year, is it a reasonable expectation na may impeach muli yung Vice President?
Well, Christian, I do not want to preempt, no, what will happen in the Justice Committee. We will apply strictly the rule. They should pass the standard of form and substance. And I think it's fair to say na kahit almost the same grounds ito, that is not a guarantee at all na makakapasa sa Justice Committee itong 4 impeachment complaints na ito. It will depend really on their compliance on the requirement of form and substance, plus dito sa ating step 3, the sufficiency of basis for the impeachment complaint, and of course, ultimately, the existence of probable cause. No, we cannot preempt that because the composition of the Justice Committee is different in the 20th Congress compared to the 19th Congress. The people who drafted the impeachment complaints might be different as well from those who drafted the impeachment complaint during the first process, no? Plus, ultimately, ibang scenario ngayon, Christian, compared to our scenario in the first impeachment process. So indeed, we cannot preempt what will happen in the Justice Committee.
Apo. Kaya ako lang po yan naitanong dahil alam ko may ilang mga miyembro kayo, I think you were included, no? Na nagkaroon na ng some sort of preparation for the trial sa Senado. Kumbaga nakita niya yung ibang mga ebidensya. At yung mga ebidensyang yun din naman yung binanggit niyan sa mga ni-revive na impeachment complaints, hindi po ba? So, kumbaga, nakita na namin ito eh. We were actually preparing for the trial eh. Yun po yung
I
punto ko
understand,
dyan.
Christian, but I think the impeachment complaint where we prepared for trial was the one signed by at least 1/3 of all the members of the House, no? It was the House members actually who participated in the preparation of the same, no? Etong 4 impeachment complaints now pending before the Justice Committee, iba ang complainant. Bagaman ang endorser natin are House members, the preparation of these complaints were done by the complainants and we haven't seen actually kung nagkaroon ba ng compliance ito, first and foremost, dun sa requirement of form and substance, and whether this will pass really the standard of the justice members.
Dun sa probable cause na binabanggit niyo, no? Inihalin tulad niyo po sa preliminary investigation itong ginagawa niya sa Justice Committee. Pero when you were dealing specifically with impeachment complaints, ano ba talagang threshold that you have to meet to be able to determine probable cause in terms of an impeachable offense?
Well, under the rules, really, the quantum of proof that is required in impeachment proceeding is probable cause for it to pass the Justice Committee, no? And by probable cause, Christian, it means there is a reasonable possibility that the offense was actually committed, no? That's how we define probable cause.
Kasi iniisip ko, di ba, pinagdebatihan po yan sa Senado rin eh. Noong 2012 impeachment trial ni Renato Corona. Example, yung ibang mga impeachable offense can be interpreted quite liberally to cover a particular offense, hindi po ba? Example, betrayal of public trust or even culpable violation of the Constitution. So parang meron ding parang elbow room yung mga maghuhusga sa level ninyo to determine whether a particular allegation would fit that supposed offense under the Constitution.
Yeah, that is correct, Christian. Yung sinasabi mo, that is what we call the factual nexus, no? Na dapat yung allegation of facts constituting an offense must be connected or must constitute the ground for impeachment under which the same is anchored. You're correct in saying that the ground of culpable violation of the Constitution is kind of general or broad, that you can actually charge any or some offense, no? So long as it is grave and serious enough to constitute the same ground, no? And that is why there is this case of Mercedes Gutierrez, which says that the assessment of the ground of impeachment, whether the same is compliant to the sufficiency in form and substance, is actually a prerogative or a judgment of the justice members, no? Bagaman
Mm.
meron tayong mga parameter na kino-consider. Like for example, the definition of probable cause, no? The the parameter that was provided under the rules. At the end of the day, under the case of Mercedes Gutierrez, it will be the discretion or prerogative of the justice members to decide whether the same is compliant with the requirement of the law.
Kasi iniisip ko dito nagsagawa na po kayo ng hearing, no? Example lang ito, no? Sa ordinaryong pagtingin, yung ginawang pagmumura at pananakot ng Vice President, di ba sinabi niya, kumontak na siya ng papatay at pumayag na ito at hindi raw ito joke, ipapapatay niya yung Presidente, First Lady at ang nooy House Speaker. Kumbaga, pag tinignan mo siya reasonably, objectively, napakabastos itong Vice President na to, and it can be interpreted as a slam dunk case falling under betrayal of public trust. Pero iniisip ko, kung medyo may latitude yung isang tao to argue whether that falls under that impeachable offense, pwedeng sabihin, teka muna, did they actually betray the public? Sikat na sikat pa rin yung Vice President ngayon, taas-taas na approval rating. I mean, maraming pwedeng ganun diskusyon, hindi po ba?
You are correct about that, Christian, no? Ang gusto nating sabihin, what may constitute as a betrayal of public trust to one member may not be true with respect to the other member. And that is in line with the pronouncement of the Supreme Court in the case of Mercedes Gutierrez, that is actually the exclusive judgment that belongs to the individual member of the Justice Committee. As to whether or not the offense will constitute really a ground for impeachment, it is a judgment that exclusively belongs to the members of the Justice Committee.
Okay. Finally, Congresswoman, in case mag-progress yung proseso dyan po sa committee ninyo, sa hearing, would it be better if the Vice President would personally appear or she doesn't have to?
Well, as I have said, it is her prerogative, no? Whether she comes or otherwise, that is her right. And if she doesn't come, it will merely be interpreted as a waiver of her right to be present during the hearing. No, but it can be appreciated as an opportunity as well to defend herself against all the allegations which are being imputed against her. Of course, we acknowledge that these are very serious allegations. The commission of threat against the life of the highest official of the land, the improper use of confidential fund, the bribery that was committed in the Department of Education. And here's the affidavit of Madriaga containing a lot of allegations of illegal activities, no? Etong kanyang presence during the hearing is actually an opportunity for her to defend herself. So it really depends on the Vice President whether she will consider that opportunity to her advantage or she would prefer not participating at all. It depends on her, Christian.
Okay. Congresswoman Jinky Luistro, maraming salamat po for joining us tonight and napaka-tiyaga ng pagpapaliwanag ninyo ng proseso. Abangan po natin yung determination of sufficiency in form sa darating na Lunes. In the meantime, maraming salamat po sa inyo.